Farmers of the Essequibo Islands of Legwan and Wakenham and those of West Coast and West Bank Demerara, from PICSA Dam to Canal Number 1, training in climate-smart agriculture being provided by the Hydromet service of the Ministry of Agriculture is proving to be invaluable. The training was provided by the Hydromet's Agromet unit in association with the Sustainable Agriculture Development in the Caribbean SAC project managed by Propel and implemented by the World University Service of Canada, WUSC. The project saw extension officers of the GLDA and NARI being first trained about participatory integrated climate services for agriculture, PICSA, and how it can be of benefit to farmers in planning their farming activities with the weather in mind. Then farmers across Region 3 were exposed to training in how they can utilize PICSA to better manage their farms, be it crops or livestock. They were also exposed to training on sustainable agriculture practices and inclusive market systems through resource personnel from SAC or SAC. This training was provided to the target groups over the last 3 months, and those farmers that were part of the training were awarded certificates of participation recently. Hydromet's PICSA specialist, Mr. Devin Warner, gave an overview of the training provided to farmers during one of several presentation of certificates events held in 3 communities across Region 3 recently.
Ever since that session, you were able to learn about the whole participatory integrated climate services for agriculture. And we said it's a whole long statement saying basically PICSA, it stands for PIC. It's a long phrase, but the short term is PICSA, right? And the 2 main parts of it, in delivering climate services or climate information to the farmers in the agriculture sector, we want the process to be participatory, which means that you are involved and not just a spectator in this process. You are involved. You could get to give your feedback. You could get to say, if this information is working for you, you could get to interact with us and the extension support services, right? In addition to that, we said it's integrated. The whole idea behind this word integrated means now we're not, again, just dropping this information on you, but we're telling you how you could integrate it into your agriculture farm business. Business, right? That's the key word. So we had a series of stages throughout the PICSA process, and it all fits into 4 time periods. Long before the season, where you do most of your planning. Just before the season, where you receive the farmer's monthly bulletin that would prepare you for the 3 months ahead. So that's long range, right? Again, you could look at that and you could amend your plans based on what's in store for the long term. And then, when we end that season, for instance, the May, June, July season here, we have during the season in terms of the short range weather forecast that covers the current day as well as the next 3 days ahead, to help you while you're in the season. Because it's fine to know the long range information, but we also want to know what would happen today and the next 3 days. That will help influence our decision making.
Farmers of the Essequibo Islands of Legwan and Wakenham, PICSA Dam, La Jealousy West Coast Demerara, and at Canal Number 1, West Bank Demerara, all of whom participated in the training sessions and have been incorporating what they have learned, were all loud in their praise of the benefits that they have experienced on their farms. In the Essequibo Islands, we heard from these farmers.
As a farmer, and I have a greenhouse. It benefits for me very good because I know to adjust myself when the day comes. Especially the one where they said alert with the weather. I think it was 2 times we get one. On that day, the plan was to do some spraying, and so we had to adjust ourselves on that day. Otherwise to that, it helps us, we get a lot of benefit from it, because when you read the forecast, we know how to adjust. So sometimes it said rain in the morning, sometimes you see 60, and you know, all right, if it says 60, it's what, 60 milligrams or something like that? I'm trying to remember exactly, you know, at least it's 2-inch rain in the morning, because 25 is 1, so it'll be over 2 inch. So you know, over 2 inches is a lot of rain. So you said, okay, there is too much rain. So today, you try to do something else.
I've learned to manage my crop. And as a planting farmer, I've learned to manage my crop better. because of the weather. I used to plant anytime. But now I know when to plant based on the weather forecast and these things.
It also assists me to know when to plant, because sometimes the rain might fall and you expect workers come, and if the workers come, they expect pay. So with this training, I was able to manage that part of it.
Secretary of the Parika Namrik and Ruby Farmers Progressive Organization, Mr. Deodat Sudat, was among the recipients of certificates at the Parika presentation. He and a few of the recipients shared their thoughts on how they have benefited from the training so far.
Since we had this program here, it's helped a lot. It helped a lot. But one of the things what I'd like to see that happen is that we want to have, like, if we get weather in Parika, it's not weather in Lenora, right? You want to see weather in Parika so that the people in Parika, the farmers in Parika, farmers is people that really critical looking for weather, right? And since we are going to this climate smart, and there's a global warming something, we need to get. So I asked weather the authority to see how best. This what I've done here is very, very helpful for now, but we need to upgrade ourselves more in the future.
What specifically have you learned under this training that you've received, the certificate for?
It's telling me mostly basically that we are going to in an area where we will not, the weather will not be regular like before, and we will have to do some adaptation in our farming activity. So we have already started on that. We try to move on highland and start to do raised bed. Because when you do raised bed, even though you're gonna get rain, you still have to irrigate. And if you do raised bed and the rain comes, well, then you're in problem. So I ask all the farmers then to, whenever you're doing your land prep, make sure you get your bed raised. So if the rain comes, you're safe, and if the rain don't come, you still have to irrigate.
Thank you, Willie.
Well, we have moved a long way from where we started, way back from my time, especially with the climate. And we benefited a lot from the training we had and how to manage our farm with the weather pattern. And of course, it's not an accurate thing we get from the weather forecast, but we still benefit from it because you have a diet, you know.
Do you think it's harder to farm now than it was before?
Yes, it is. It is hard because of the increased weather pattern we have. You know?
So programs like this, you think, how valuable do you think these programs are?
I do think it's very valuable.
I'm a livestock and crop farmer, and one of the main benefits I have received from PICSA training is trying to adapt to climate smart farming based on what we have learned and receiving the information from Hydromet. Well, I used to do cash crop. Whether it's May, June rain or sun, I doing cash crop all the time. Now knowing the amount of rainfall to expect at a certain month and a certain part of the year, with Hydromet providing that information to me now, I have made some crop rotation now. So now that I have changed my routine of planting now, like for instance, presently I would be doing cash crop now, but I moved to provision on highlands right now. So now that I plant these provision now, in this rainy season, this is good for them now. So by the time this rain finish, is root crop I doing. So by the time the rain finish, it's time to harvest. So right away, I must say compliments to Hydromet for that piece of information that they have shared with us. So I have adopted one of the method of planting climate smart, I should say, right now. And even as I doing livestock now, what I knowing the weather pattern now, which might not be very accurate, but close. When I got PICSA drop or foreign to be yamping, at foreign stage now, I will know the week when they will drop, to be exact. So I know which side of my pen to put them on, because I know rain coming for that week. And looking at the amount of rainfall now, and with the wind and things that we get in the back here now, I know when I got to put them on the lower side. So even if the breeze comes with the rain, it won't hamper my livestock. So I have put that into place as well. Because up to yesterday, I had the guys moved around the animals because I know rain coming. But if I didn't receive this information from Hydromet, the rain would have come, everybody would be soaked.
Good morning to everyone. On this special occasion, my name is Ms. Bibi Shahidan Mohammed, a retired teacher. Now, after retiring, I decided to cultivate ground provisions on my farm and a little chicken rearing. It worked a lot, it helped a lot, but especially with the SAC here, I have learned a lot, especially where marketing is concerned, right? I had a full farm book that I usually traverse, like with income, expenditure, input, output, and so on. So I have decided at my next meeting for this month, I have the handout, I have the diagrams and so on, that I'm going to share and discuss as the group progress. Look out, NAMRI group. I love to share ideas and I do like to be selfish. So I will share it coming month at my next meeting with the farmers then. Rather than complaining, we exploring, improving.
My name is Cleveland Bambi. I reside at the Kentren, that one, the Kentren. I farm in Zillot back. And I could tell you, this program means a lot to me. I mean, there's so much I gain from it because about 3 occasions, I actually cleared down 10-acre land without planting anything on it, and the rain just come in and I couldn't do anything. This, I mean, like I said, this girl, I'm speaking me layman way, okay, but you understand me. With the information receiving from the program, I'm able now to know when rain coming and know when to plow up the land and to get crops in so as to cater for the rainy season. So it means so much to me because I wouldn't carry the losses like I carried before. So it means so much to me that I have more command with my farming experience now because of the knowledge imparted to me right now.
The
So I
SAC
say thank you.
program, sorry to interrupt you. The SAC program teaches you about marketing and all the aspects relative to that. Before that, you never focused on all that.
No.
Use the plant and hope for the
Just
best at the end
plant
of
and
the
just
crop.
tell it.
How do you think this will help your business of agriculture now going forward?
I would say A1 because I listen, really, I have the knowledge now to know how to go about this thing and how to, in that regard. Because I was doing it because, reach retirement age is we're going to farming. And without no experiences depending on people to assist me because there's a reason I suffered these losses before. But with the help now with NARI, I try and copy them. If my business is doing, I mean, let them see what I'm doing, so as to assist me and they help me a great lot, tremendously. In our farm, they, kind of contribute with my farming.
Across at La Jealousy, the farmers there spoke of putting the theory they learnt during the training sessions into practice on their farms and are delighted at the various outcomes.
My name is Surinapuran. I'm a farmer in La Jealousy, West Coast Demerara. This exercise has impacted my life severely because without the information that the Hydromet service and NARI provided to me for that 2 day, without that information, I wouldn't be able to go about my daily activities at my farm because due to the weather conditions, because the weather is not the same like before when you could read and say, alright, this is the rainy season, you could plant before this, or this is the sunny season, it's a good time for we start preparing land. So for the 2 days exercise that I attended, impact my life severely.
Yeah, like yesterday, today, tomorrow, mostly cloudy. We expect no rain. Yes, so you no do nothing in the farm. You can't put the seed because when the rain beats in so much, it don't grow. And we see like you got to plant in this rainy weather, you can plant like okra. You can't go take the rain like bora. You can't plant celery. You can't plant lettuce because cheese lettuce must be a shade. When the rain will beat them and it wouldn't grow, you break the leaf.
So based on what the forecast says, that is how you know what to plant.
You can't do better, so you got to put down.
Good.
I'm Maxine Rose really, but my correct name is on the certificate. So because of the weather forecast, it has done a great lot for me because I clean out the drainage around my cow pens, channel it out to the main canal, so that with this rainfall now, it will just wash everything out. I don't put the mold to be washed down. I have a compost. All right. I bought some construction plastic. So whenever the night comes, in the day you could look at the weather pattern, but in the night, I would cover it.
Tell us about the experience you had, the decision you were able to make after seeing the 3 days of rainfall forecast, the forecast for the next 3 days.
I had some drying, and it was actually dried, so I pick it up, bag it off, put it under a shed, right? And it's the weather forecast just be so accurate. That is why I bought the construction plastic. So I won't have this mold getting wet and running all over the place. You just put on the construction plastic at night or whenever you see the rain set up and anchor it down at the edges, and you were okay. When the sun come out, you take off back the construction
And you were able to sell some of that mold and earn some extra dollars,
all
right?
of it.
With this training, it's very impacted, very new to us, because when we did the check on the weather pattern in terms of the knowledge that we received, I can say it is very accurate and it's very impacted for us to go ahead and do our farming, so we can plan ahead with the various crops.
Give me some practical examples of how you've applied the training you've received.
Practical example, when I was here for the training, I was doing some land preparation and looking at the climate change in terms of the layout that they give to us, the update on the weather pattern. I apply it and it worked in my favor because, for example, I have boro that we call beans, the long beans. Right now it is blossoming from the time we had the training to now, because I did my preparation and I start sowing the seed. So the weather of itself helped me to ease expense in terms of irrigation, manual labor and everything, working with the weather pattern.
I'm a Henry Sokraj and I hail from Port Ryan. I'm a sheep farmer, and this workshop would have assisted me a great lot. In that the weather conditions that actually prevail, gone were the days when we used to look at the moon and began to predict as to whether, 3 days before you get rainfall, 3 days after, so on. On many occasions that was proven to be incorrect. Having exposed myself to this program, you give me an opportunity whereby you arm more to the teeth with forward planning. There were instances where I had cause to construct a bridge, and I had workers who were there waiting, earning $10,000 per day. My budget went down way below. When I came to this workshop, the construction was in progress, and then having myself educated in relation to the high tide and low tide, it gives me the opportunity that I could have employed people at the right and the appropriate time. As a result, I have saved thousands.
Dealing directly with the farmers in all the regions of the country are the extension offices of the various agencies of the Ministry of Agriculture. They are the ones in constant touch with farmers, guiding their on-farm activities as it relates to their agronomic practices, how they deal with problems on the farm, etc. As it relates to the Hydromet's PICSA project in association with SAC, the extension officers of Region 3, who were trained under the train the trainers aspect of the program, say the training has been invaluable to the effectiveness of their work.
Well, when I started off here, explaining the weather forecast to farmers, I never used to do that, but after I would have had the training with Hydromet, it becomes a normal thing for me. I have 4 farmers group on WhatsApp, and I would usually send the weather forecast to them on a daily basis. That would be when Devin sent it to the group. It also helped me in ways that now that farmers know that I'm exposed to the information, they will call me almost every day because I'm dealing with over 800 farmers in Canal Number 1. So they will call and ask me, Sandy, can I spray now? Is it okay for me to spray now? Is it okay for me to transplant and stuff like that? So I find with the Hydromet training, it helps me a lot to interact with the farmer when it comes to weather forecast, and it helps me in my work as well to be more effective.
So I use the website and the information that Devin sends every morning to better tell them like when to implement certain agriculture activities, such as when to plant or how to hold off spraying and so on.
You deal with livestock.
Yes.
So tell me what information you give to farmers in this regard.
Okay, so I use mostly the seasonal calendar to synchronize the breeding and pasture management so that we could have birds in the dry season where you need it.
So if there's rain coming up, what would you tell them to do?
Okay, so for that I encourage them to have breeding being done in the rainy season, or the planting of the pasture, the renewing of the seeds on the plot.
Ms. Joanna Robertson is the Climate Smart Officer of WUSC Caribbean and co-partner with Hydromet in the rollout of the PICSA project across Guyana. She explained the role of her organization in moving the program forward.
So what the project seeks to do is to enhance the earning capacity of farmers. Not for them to go into a new crop, but see what they're doing right now and the practices that they can change to increase their productivity. We're not telling farmers to go and plant more, but based on what you're currently doing, how you can alter your practices to increase your productivity, and having information about weather and climate. We know that there has been a lot of losses due to unexpected rainfall, and if they can be informed, they will be able to save or even make some changes in terms of either their livelihood, what cropping practices or animal husbandry practices they are currently employing. I think that's it.
What about the facilitating a market system approach? What are you telling them in this regard?
Okay, well, the market systems approach is one, it's something that is very practical in terms of our work and how we roll out and implement our activities. The sustainable agriculture in the Caribbean project will not be here forever. We are just here to improve on the supporting organizations such as NARI, Hydromet, GLDA, how it is that we can increase their capacity, improve their capacity so that they can, better deliver training to extension officers, so on and so forth. So that may come in terms of training, it may be tangible support, it may be also, leveraging, helping each other to leverage each other's resources and capacity and so on. So that is what the SAC project seeks to do.
The rollout of the PICSA project in association with SAC will continue next in regions 4, 5, and 6, and 10, then to the interior locations in the months ahead. Since taking office, Agriculture Minister Zulfikar Mustafa has been speaking to the importance of adaptation measures being taken by farmers to ensure that they remain viable in the face of climate change. He says paying attention to the weather is now as critical to the success of the crop as any other practice on the farm, and this is now practically applied through the services of the Hydromet arm of the Ministry of Agriculture. It has been noted that while the wet and dry seasons of the year are known, there has been a shrinking window of opportunity for the completion of the various aspects of the crop or livestock production cycles, making it imperative that a farmer utilizes the weather forecasts provided by the Hydromet service. These are daily, over a period of 3 days, and up to 3 months. These weather forecasts are available on the Hydromet website at hydromet.gov.gy or is sent directly to farmers through the various farmers groups in Region 3 and those to be formed over the coming months in all regions of the country.